Hello, 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 and a warm welcome to another session of the Self-Detective Club. This is the show where self-awareness meets self-empowerment, where the pursuit of personal insight is the Holy Grail. Today, we're going to invite you to interact with us in some exercises that bypass the brain. But first, let's get some context. Why bother being creative? We're putting it out there that consciousness is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to our emotional and psychological life. We also have an unconscious mind and unconscious processes. It would be unrealistic and naive of us to think that we can get through life simply by answering questions that we're able to answer, whilst ignoring and avoiding the questions that are not so easy to understand, let alone attempt to answer. So, in order to become aware of our unconscious life, we'll need to dig deeper, and that's where creative and expressive interventions can come into play. Being rational and logical will only get you so far in life. Add imagination and creation into the mix, and you will increase your knowledge and understanding of yourself dramatically. Here are some more possible reasons to immerse yourself in creativity. It can help you to discover and express things about yourself that you don't have words for. It can uncover hidden things. It can allow you to get more in touch with your emotions and feelings rather than being stuck with your thoughts and thinking. There's a high probability of growth and change for those that regularly practice creativity and expression. Working creatively helps you look at the world in a different perspective than thinking or being verbal. This can help you get out of stuck patterns of thought and behavior. The action of doing creative things helps to take energy away from the actions of being anxious and being in a state of panic. It can also help you to harmonize your mind with your body. The following thoughts and observations are adapted from Natalie Rogers, a psychotherapist who pioneered expressive art therapy as a way of healing that which is ruptured. If you are in distress, you are being human. You are reacting to circumstances in a totally human way. You don't need to be treated as though there is something wrong with you. Being able to express ourselves is a form of self-healing. It helps you let go of your distress. We express inner feelings by creating outer forms. By making art forms, we get to construct a channel directly into our internal world of emotion. Expression allows us to gain insights into ourselves. What we create gives us a sort of message. This is how we get to learn the language of our internal world. Expression can help to overcome hurdles we might have in life. When we are stuck for words or solutions, we can use our imagination to get us moving once more. When our emotions are held captive within our bodies, creativity can dislodge them and shift them to the surface. With expression and creativity, there are endless possibilities on what we can do to improve our wellness. When our feelings are joyful, the art form uplifts. When our feelings are violent or wrathful, we can transform them into powerful art rather than venting them on the world. Working creatively and expressively with emotions is easier than the process of thinking about them and talking about them. When we reflect on our experiences, be they emotional, cognitive, spiritual, physical, etc., we are helping to integrate all our parts into one harmonious and healthy being. Here are some quotes you might find useful. It is only in playing that the individual uses their whole personality in creative activity, and it is only in creative activity that they discover their self. Donald Winnicott. Art is a way of knowing. Pat B. Allen. Surrealism is the destructive, but it only destroys what it considers to be the shackles limiting our vision. Salvador Dali. The urge to destroy is a creative urge. Mikhail Bakunin. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. Carl Jung. We need to be childish to understand. Only a child sees things with perfect clarity because it hasn't developed all of those filters which prevent us from seeing things that we don't expect to see. Douglas Adams. So, without further ado, we're now going to invite you to undertake some playful, creative exercises. So do press pause and grab yourself 10 sheets of paper and any pens, pencils you wish to use. Okay, what we're looking to do more than anything else is to bypass the brain, bypass the intellect. To achieve this aim, everything you put down on paper is going to be super quick, with little time for thought, like 10 seconds quick, and then 5 seconds to reflect on what you've done before moving on to the next task, and the next task, and the next task. And please remember, this isn't about creating beautiful pieces of art, or being neat, or anything like that. This is just about getting ideas down on paper, nothing more, nothing less. As with all self-detective exercises, there's no right or wrong way to do this, and no one will be judging you for what you make. And if you don't want to take part in any of the tasks, then don't. So here we go. Ready? Okay, on the first piece of paper, draw something really small. Doesn't matter what it is, just draw it small. Okay. Now, once you've done that, have a 5-second look at what you've done, and then using the same piece of paper, I would like you to draw something incredibly big. Doesn't matter what it is, just let yourself fill the whole page up with this big thing. Okay, and 5 seconds to reflect, and then we're going to move on to the next page. Okay, on sheet number 2, I'd like you to write your name across the page in a style that you've never done before. Go. Okay, once you've done that, have a look at what you've done, and then turn over to the third sheet. On this, I'd like you to draw something with your eyes closed. Could be an object, could be a doodle, could be anything. Just close your eyes and see what you do. And reflect, open your eyes, see what you've drawn, and then move on to page number 4. For this page, I invite you to draw a hiccup. Okay? Don't think, just draw a hiccup. Okay, start to wrap up now and reflect on what you've drawn. And now move on to page 5. Now for this one, you've got 20 seconds to draw 5 things that would make a perfect day. No need to think, just draw, or if you don't want to draw, write them down. Okay, and put your pen down now and have a look at what you've done before moving on to the next sheet of paper, page 6. For this sheet, I'd like you to draw a flag that represents you, as if you were your very own country, as if you were your very own principality. Okay, wind down and then reflect, have a look at what you've drawn before moving on to the next page, page number 7. For this page, I'd like you to draw as many different love hearts on the page as you want to. That includes not drawing any, it includes drawing one or multiple ones. Again, don't think about it, just see what happens, see what you're drawing. Okay, and pause, put your pen down, have a look at what you've done, turn the page over to page 8. On this sheet, I'd like you to think about a note that you have received from lost property asking you to collect something. What is it that you're being asked to collect? Okay, and reflect on what you've drawn. Turn over the page. You're now on page 9. I invite you now to draw an elephant using your non-dominant hand. Okay. Wind down, have a look at what you've done, turn the page. Now we're on the last page, page 10. For this page, I invite you to make a small little squiggle anywhere on the page. Once you've drawn the squiggle, have a look at it and see if you can turn the squiggle into an abstract shape. Okay, now once you've drawn this abstract shape, I want to see if you can turn it into something that has form and meaning, such as an object or a creature or a building. Okay, and put your pen down. Have a look at what you've done. We've now come to the end, so you can breathe and relax. We hope that was okay for you. I wonder now if we can invite you to have a look back at what you've made without any need to rush now. There's some questions that you might want to ask yourself. What might you have learned about yourself today? Did anything that you do surprise you in any way? If not, were you perhaps a bit predictable with your responses? And if you were, are you okay with this? Are you not okay with this? Are you tempted to go back and see if you can produce anything differently? Finally, was there a particular task or a particular response that interests you in any way? If there is, would it be useful for you to follow this up in some way? Okay, so that was part 1 that you've been listening to. Part 2, where people come onto the show and do some more exercises that bypass the brain and then discuss what they've done, well, that's yet to happen. Could you, as an individual or as part of a group of, say, 4 to 5 people, take part in this episode? If you're interested, drop me an email at podcast@selfdetective.net. Until next time, all that remains to say is that the music on this show has been made by the Samphires. Take it away.